Hi, my name's Hubert Vogt, but everyone knows me as Bucky.
Bucky!
Yeah.
You don't have to ask a single fucking question now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Bucky.
All right.
Rock the mic, Bucky.
Okay.
What was your real name?
Hubert.
Bucky!
All right. I think movies in like the past few years, just like the quality of them is going way downhill.
Because of me?
No. You should.
Is that what you're getting at? Because I feared that myself.
No. Like, what do you think about that? And what do you do as a filmmaker to like make sure you make a quality flick, dude?
I think as soon as I got into the game, everything went to hell. There was a guy, a director, a guy that made a movie called George Washington. Did anyone see it? So that's about 9. In the paper, the dude said, somebody was saying, like, well, you know, there are filmmakers who came before you, like Kevin Smith, that helped pave the way and stuff like that. And he went off on a tear. And he was just like, look, that dude lowered the bar. You know, he didn't really make it easier for us to get in. He just turned filmmaking into a kind of Special Olympics. Which I couldn't be too mad at, because I thought it was kind of a funny line. It was like, I'm leading the way of the handy-capable, you know? So that dude insisted that I lowered the bar, and I gave that a good thought, a good think or two when I first read that comment. I was like, did I lower the bar? Like, did I get in and really fuck it up? Like, did it all go south with me? And I thought, no, because come on, nobody's really seen the movies I've done.
Hi, my name's Tim Rowland, and aesthetically speaking, all your films, there's been some criticism, you know, as to camera movement and, you know, sometimes...
Oh, we're talking about the movies?
Yeah, the movies.
I thought you were like, aesthetically speaking.
Yes. It was hard for me to say that.
You gotta lose some fucking weight.
But I know you worked with Robert Yeoman on Dogma, I think it was, and I was just wondering if there's any future plans to maybe have a different look, maybe to your films?
No, not essentially. I don't think I have a look per se. I mean, I think the look is kind of dictated by what the movie's about. But I don't really have a style per se. Like, I remember the first thing I read about our work in the legitimate press was in the Village Voice. Amy Taubman wrote this mini review of Clerks when it first played at the 1993 Independent Feature Film Market. And she said, his style is that he has no style. And I said, yeah. So I just adopted that, and I figured, all right, that's my style. Like, I just don't have a style. You just can't look at it. Sometimes people look at a Tim Burton movie, like that's Tim Coen Brothers especially. You look at a movie with no credits, you'll find out if it's the Coen Brothers just by the way they move their camera and shit. Martin Scorsese, same thing. But mine, not at all. Mine, you can close your eyes and listen only, and then you can be like, oh, it's that guy's movies. Because somebody said fucking cocksmoker. So I've never been that big into the visual aspect of it, and I get tagged for it a lot, and I think that's because I bring it up a lot. I'm one of those people that believes in the philosophy of steal the thunder. Say something negative about yourself before somebody else has the chance to. So if I'm like, look, my movies look like shit, then there are people who are like, well, he knows. And because I tend to do that a lot, people just kind of go into every movie. Some of the critics, like Variety, when they reviewed Jane Bob Strike Back, they were like, no, it was Hollywood Reporter, Kirk Honeycutt, said, it's a Kevin Smith movie, so of course, you know, it doesn't look good. And I thought that was kind of unfair because that movie looked wonderful compared to everything else we did. But I don't know. I just don't feel the need to develop a visual style.
Thanks.
Thanks. I'm just lazy, dude. It takes too much work.
How much leeway do you give your actors? Like, you write a line for Jay over here, and he starts rambling, and do you just cut him, or do you say, let him go and then see how it came out? And, I mean, all the actors you deal with.
Is it like that?
Ramble, no.
Mike.
There's no rambling. Usually we go over it beforehand. Like, I'll say a few things. He'll be like, fuck that. No, stick to that. And then I'll be like, can I smoke in the scene? He'll be like, no. I'm always always trying to smoke in the scene, just so I can smoke. But no, it's not like that.
How is it?
It's like I said.
You stay to the script?
I add some stuff, but I do it before we start shooting. And sometimes I'll throw like one word in or something.
I add some shit. Every once in a while I put in a word.
A word or two. But no, I pretty much stick to the script. He wants me to stick to the script this far.
I'm fairly dictatorial with him and with the other guys as well. Him though, I tend to be even more guarded with, because there's a line, a very thin line that character has to walk, because he's very offensive, could be potentially very offensive, but for some reason winds up being very sweet. And my theory about that has always been because, like Jason himself, the character has no moral barometer whatsoever. Like, doesn't say things to hurt people, doesn't say things to be mean, just says them because he has no fucking clue, good or bad. But he came up with a bit of business in the last movie. With every movie, Muse has grown better and better. Like in the first movie, I wrote the script and I wrote it to his intonations, his inflections, some of his catchphrases, and handed it to him and said, read it. And he read it. I said, what do you think? He's like, I don't know if I can do this. And I was like, it's fucking you. And so we spent a month teaching Jay how to be Jay. So it's like, Snoogans. He's like, why would I say that? I'm like, why do you say that? But with each movie, it got better and better. Like in the first movie, there's a scene where we dance outside the convenience store. We're shooting, it's 3 in the morning, in the middle of Leonardo, fucking dead. There's 4 people on the crew. Me, Scott Mosier, Dave Klein, the DP, and I think Ed was still there. Yeah. Ed was still there at that point. And we're about to do this sequence where we just kind of break into dance in front of the store. And Muse is like, I can't do it. And I said, why? And he's like, it's just all these people. And this is the kind of dude who, if you know him for 5 minutes, he'll just like take his cock out. The kind of dude you're driving with and like, you're looking ahead and then you hear him go like, it's chilly in here, isn't it? And you look over him like he's crazy and he's got his cock and his balls hanging out and he's leaning back looking at you. He's like a baby, like when a baby discovers their genitalia, they're just, whee! So, but here he was, not dancing. And I was just like, what are we supposed to do? He's like, get them all out of here. So Mosier and Ed and Dave went inside the convenience store. Dave turned on the camera and just walked away. And he was like, go, I guess. And then we did our thing. As we progressed, like on Mallrats, we had a bigger crew shooting in a mall, an operational mall, time, money, people involved. And we're like, you can't fucking wait. We can't throw 50 people off the set because you feel shy to knock on the glass with the kiddies. Just do it. Just fucking dance. And he got over it and stuff like that. I don't know where the fuck I was going with this. What was it originally?
You were saying how it progressed. That's all. You were talking about each film.
Okay, I know where I'm going with it.
I guess.
Thanks. So Chasing Amy, the dude it only worked for one day, and I said to the crew, the day we were going to shoot our scene, I collect them all together, all the keys, and I'm like, listen, tonight we shoot with Jason Mewes. Could be the longest fucking night of our lives. I said, because I don't know, we haven't had much time to rehearse, so we may have to shoot a line, turn the camera off, rehearse the line, then turn the camera on, shoot that line, turn off, and do that all night long. So just bear with me. Bear with him especially, have patience. So we go to shoot the scene. Mewes whips through all his dialogue like a pro, with like the tiny bit of rehearsal we did that day. And then it comes to me, and I'm like, you're chasing... Fuck, cut. What's the line? And Mosier's like, Amy. I was like, right, go again. You're chasing Amy. What? You're chasing Amy. Fuck, cut, Couldn't remember anything. Went on for 11 takes, trying to spit out that stupid speech, making shit up. 12 takes. Make me look like a fool, boy. 12 takes, making lines up as I go, and Affleck's going out of his fucking mind, because Affleck is a dude that loves to ad-lib. Like, just loves to tack on shit. Like, he'll do his dialogue, and then put on a little PS to every line. There's a scene in Chasing Amy where they're sitting on the swings and she's explaining fisting to him. And he reacts, and then she says it's reserved for it's reserved for special occasions. And he says, well, what about not so special occasions? That's the line. We're shooting the scene. He goes, what about not so special occasions? Well, you just hit her in the fucking head with a bat? And I'm like, fucking cut. What are you doing? We're trying to tell a love story here. He's like, oh yeah, it's a love story with fisting in it. And I said, but still, what are you doing? He's like, I think it's a funny line. Maybe leave it in. My peeps will love it. This is 96. He had no peeps. He's like, I'm telling you, leave that line and it'll be fucking howls. People will love it. I said, dude, I'm not going to leave your shit in. Just if you want to make up lines, go write your own fucking script. Collect them all, write your own fucking script. And he did that, and he won an Oscar. So Affleck's sitting there as I'm making up lines, which he knows are not in the script. And he's just like, what are you fucking doing? What happened to no ad-lib? And I'm like, I'm the writer. When I'm ad-libbing, it's like doing another draft. Dogma, though, we kept impressing on this cat. Look, you got to be top-notch because you are the strong back that's got to carry the movie. You got to be funny, and you got to be on cue all the time. You got to know your lines. You can't be shy and shit like that because we got real actors in the movie this time. And he's like, not like Affleck. And I was like, not like Affleck. I said, we got real actors. He's like, who? I'm like, well, we got Alan Rickman in the movie. And he's like, who the fuck's that? And I said, Alan Rickman, from fucking Die Hard, Yippee-ki-yay. He's like, Bruce Willis? I said, no. The other guy, Alan Rickman, he's the bad guy, he's the villain. And he's like, oh, all right, so what? And I'm like, well, Alan Rickman is a British actor, man. And British actors they invented acting. They will chew the scenery fucking around you. They will just, he'll make you look like a fool, and he won't put up for like snoochie boochies and shit like that. He needs you to be on and there for him and fucking like top notch. He's worked with the best. You can't let a dude like this down. So as with all the other films, we kind of rehearse. I rehearse with all the actors separately, and Muse, I always start with by himself and then work him into the group. So I sit down with Muse to start rehearsing his lines. And he comes in the room, no script. I'm like, where's your fucking script? And he said, I don't need it. And I said, what do you mean you don't need it? He's like, just try me, go ahead. So I start reading the lines that aren't Muse, and Muse starts doing his lines back without a script in hand. I was like, that's pretty fucking good. And we keep going, and he knows everything. Bang, left and right. And I'm like, holy shit, did you memorize all your lines? He's like, yeah, everybody else's too. And I said, bullshit. He said, try me. So I start reading Muse's lines, and he starts reading everybody else's lines back to me without a fucking script. And I'm like, what the fuck? What are you, Rain Man? What? I said, what the fuck happened, dude? Why did you suddenly become a genius? And he was just like, I don't want to piss off that Rickman dude. So by the time we got to Jay and Bob, he was at the top of his game, and not just like taking direction, but actually giving direction back to me. And we're rehearsing for the sword fight, for the lightsaber battle, blunt saber battle. Can't call it lightsaber. Lucasfilm will sue. Blunt saber battle, and he's got the double-sided bong saber. So embarrassing. And he's doing his movers, and he comes back into this, and he's like, all right, so he's going moves? And I said, yeah, because he calls me moves. I said, yeah? He said, what if when I'm like this, I turn it off, and then I hit it, and I blow the smoke out, and I turn it on, and I go at it again. And I looked at him like, that's fucking brilliant. So I grabbed the digital guy, Joe Grossberg. I'm like, can we do that? And he's like, we can do anything. We're putting it all in post. I said, genius, let's do it. So it was really satisfying to watch the movie for the first time with an audience, and that moment happens, and the audience goes nuts. I was like, holy shit, the dude's really fucking quite an idiot savant.